and it's been bringing so much joy into my life and just like healing for my inner teenager who picked her body apart. And it's like, no, babe, we get to dance, we get to bring in joy, and we get to love this beautiful body that we're in. Welcome to the Multiple Truths podcast. We're your hosts, Holly
and Brittany. This is a space where we can come together healing in community, where we share our self-love journeys, insights, and wisdom.
A space with no hierarchy or judgment, fostering love, compassion, and respect, and where we honor our differences. With open minds and hearts, everyone's truth is welcome here. We are in this together. Let's dive into the episode.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. If you guys are watching, you could see that we're together again.
Yes, woo! So excited to be together in Brittany's new place.
I'm so excited.
It's so beautiful here. If you're watching, you can tell that it's a new background. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
I love how it's decorated.
Yeah, I still gotta figure out. I just kind of did this the other day, honestly, because I just built this less than a week ago. I was like, we'll see. It might evolve and shift and change as the seasons come and go too, make it fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I bought this moon thing, which I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, I love that. The little cauldron and then the candlesticks. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Thank
you. And Mage,
you're gonna see
appearance.
her. Yeah, you'll see her moving around. You might see Blue moving around. Cats. You can't tell them what to do.
Yeah, she's a curious cat. These two Blue and Mage, they're curious kittens.
Yeah,
they're so cute.
They're
so cute.
They're still getting they're still figuring out how to live with each other. So
yeah, and I've never had cats, or I haven't had dogs either, but I don't know how to act around cats. I just don't know how to act around animals. Obviously you just that natural instinct to be nurturing, but it's just interesting. I'm can I pet them? Do they want me to hold them? They don't want to be held. Well, Blue doesn't want to be held. Mage, I feel like I haven't tried to pick her up actually.
Do you know what? It's funny. Blue will come and cuddle with me in the morning, and she loves her morning cuddles, and she lets me hold her.
Yeah.
And only with me, she'll let me hold her. I'll pick her up and hold her.
Yeah.
Mage she's very affectionate, but she doesn't like to be held. She loves it when she gets the love, if that makes sense. She loves being pet. She'll be and yelling at me to pet her, and I'm okay, and I'm petting her.
Yeah.
And then when I pick her up because I want some love, she's no.
Absolutely
she's
not.
You expect me to give this back to you? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But you're good. I feel like you're good with them. With cats, you just have to let them come to you, and you're very much so that way.
Oh,
See?
Blue is making an appearance. We've got both of them here. Oh,
yeah, they're gonna be in and out. IKEA.
They're cute if you're watching. But yeah, this space is so beautiful. You can I don't know, you guys obviously can't see in the if you're watching, and obviously if you're listening you can't see this either, but when I look to my left and when Brittany looks to her left, it's pure ocean, and it's just so beautiful. Such a beautiful place to just have as your own right now, a little sanctuary.
I feel really lucky. I feel grateful. I feel it's pinch me, is how I feel.
A little beach home, we're on vacation. So you guys are on vacation with us right now, our little beach home.
Yeah. Today's episode, we're keeping it fun. We're keeping it light.
Yeah.
We want to talk about, because a part of healing is joy. You know what I'm saying? When we get into the healing journey, I know I've been guilty of this. It's and just when you're really in it, healing's a forever journey. There's always going to be more to heal from, but sometimes it's you're in seasons where it's dark, it's deep, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of grief. And I feel that's been the pattern for me since 2020, really. But it really started in 2022, 2023, 2024. And I'm okay, now it's time to bring the joy in, and don't get me wrong, during that season, there's beautiful and joyous moments, but I think it's really important to be intentional because there's actually so much healing that comes through joy and play as well. It doesn't always have to be dark and heavy and so we just want to talk about that today.
Adding in more joy, an invitation to add in more joy, more play, more pleasure, because I just think too that's a huge emphasis, I feel for what we're all needing more in our life. The world is so heavy right now. It's so dense. There's so much going on that's so devastating, honestly, just like so devastating and heavy. And then put on top of that, like if you are on the journey of like facing your pain and your trauma head on and like feeling your pain and grief and all these heavy emotions, it's like, okay, we've gotta invite joy back in. We have to invite in that play, that pleasure, that creativity, like. And also, we just hosted a healing circle around tapping into your creativity and flow. And it feels like such a big emphasis, specifically for the women that were at the circle, but like in general, like turning your pain into purpose and like tapping more into that creativity, which comes online as we bring in the joy, the play, the pleasure. So,
And it's
yeah.
like, I love turning your pain into purpose. Like, it always just gives me chills.
Yeah.
That's medicine.
Right.
That's the medicine the world needs. And it
Right.
also, I feel, by doing that, like by doing that, it's so healing for yourself too. It helps you integrate. It's medicine for the world to tap into that creativity. And you could just have fun and be creative, and it doesn't have to be tied to your pain either. You
Right.
know what I
Right. Right.
mean? Sorry if you hear thuds in the background. It's just Mage.
It's the cats. Yeah, I think there's just such a big emphasis, yeah, to invite back in that joy and play. And I feel like it's so healing for our inner children. You know, I talk about inner child a lot. We don't just have one inner child. We have like all the inner children within us, like of all ages. And it's like tapping back into that joy of like, what did you used to enjoy doing when you were younger? And like inviting that back into your life, because not only is that part of the healing for your inner child, like making them feel safe to be able to play, but it's so healing just for, yeah, to invite that back in your life, because it can be so serious. Like it's just become so serious. And I myself, like this is a message for me too. Like I am intentionally adding in more joy, because I feel like, yeah, like I've been heavy in my healing, learning how to love myself, facing my shadows, my pain, also like the collective darkness that is in the world, having to understand that. And it's heavy. And it's like, it's time to balance the scales and like bring back in that joy. So I've been super intentional, and it just feels like we want to make this an invitation for you guys to also like start being intentional about adding in that joy. Because yeah, like the world is so heavy and it can just get really hard, and I think we have to intentionally add that in. And like I also feel like it's so much tied to, if you're feeling stuck in your life, I feel like adding in that joy and play and creativity and pleasure and all of that is going to help reignite your spark for like your zest for life again.
Yes,
You
and
know.
yeah, and a big key part of that too is tapping into your feminine energy. Like we all have feminine and masculine energy within us. I feel like we live in a society just as a whole where a lot of us are in our masculine more so, with the busyness, the go, the doing, the this, the that. And we forget about taking time to relax, to create, to have fun. And that's often how, by allowing yourself to fall into that feminine energy, the fun, the flow, the creative energy, that's when you can become unstuck. It's in those moments that, the dots click, or you know what I'm saying, to
Yeah.
help you move through the stagnancy or the heaviness or whatever it may be.
Right.
Side note, what's coming to mind too, and this is off topic but on topic, I want to talk about fashion really quickly that's coming through, because I'm obsessed with your shirt.
Thank
I'm
you.
like
I'm
looking at
obsessed
it.
with your outfit. I know you got that from Peru
I
too,
got
and I
this from
love that.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I'm like, where is this from? It's so
Where
cute.
is this from? Here, look at the tag. I just bought it. I just found this company. I don't know how to say it. Soleil, the label, I think.
Sola, like I with a little
Yeah.
Soleil. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's so cute. This is actually like a
It's
bathing suit cover up. You take
oh,
it to the beach,
oh
but
my
I'm
God.
like, oh, I love it because it's so flowy, and I'm just like love neutral colors.
And same, I
So
love neutral colors. I love
yeah,
like I'm obsessed with this green, forest green,
yeah, I
sage
just got a dress like
green.
that too, in a forest green
Oh,
too. Like it's like the
beautiful.
dark navy green kind of. Is it navy?
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, I get it's like similar to this.
Yes, forest green. Navy is navy blue.
Navy blue, yes, but like it's the same tone. So
Yes, yes,
I get
yes.
what you're saying.
Yeah, I
But
love those kind of colors. Yes.
same. And I feel like, talking about fashion all of a sudden, tapping into your creativity. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Expression. Because
Yes.
I'm honestly, I just bought this shirt. I actually had to go into the city to pick it up because,
The one you
yeah,
were talking
because
about.
Eric and I moved to Santa Cruz and I bought this online and it automatically auto populated my address in San Francisco. So we had to drive to get it. And because I was just thinking like, I want clothes to like express who I feel like I am now. Like I feel like a lot of my clothes just like I don't feel like they really fit me right now, and I'm trying to like really be intentional about like, okay, what are the clothes that like speak to Holly, like as who I'm moving into now. And I really was like, I just love these colors. I love flowy. I want like flowy dresses. I'm done with like the tight. I just want to be comfy and just flowy.
Same.
So I'm
Yeah.
trying to like be intentional about adding in clothes that like express me, you
Express
know.
who you are.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, this is not me saying consumerism, da 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 da
Right, right,
da,
right.
but I feel like I've also been very intentional about like the quality of clothes. Not that it needs to be name brand because I don't give a shit about that, but
Right.
like supporting local,
Yes.
buying things that are supportive for my skin while also expressing who I am and having fun and being creative with it, you
Yeah,
know?
it's such a form of creative expression. It's like that's what people notice about you when you're walking around, you know. It's like, and not that you have to, you know, I'm all about to just comfort, cozy, whatever you want to wear, but I think it can be a beautiful form of expression. And as, you know, so many of us are shifting and changing all of the time, and like your outfits can express your shifting and changing. Like sometimes I wear black and it's like, oh, I'm in literally when I was having a lot of gut issues last year, I got this black jumpsuit from White Fox Boutique, and I was wearing that so much, and I was like, ooh, like grief. Like it just felt like I was really moving through a lot of like heavy energy, and I felt called to a black jumpsuit. And then once I came out of that, I had this like white jumpsuit that I was wearing, and it's like, oh, I don't even realize that like the clothes that we even subconsciously pick are like what we're trying to embody more of,
Yes,
you
I
know.
I noticed that even when like because I'm not doing anything with my nails right now. I'm like just letting them go. I just kind of want to do the natural for a while. But when I was painting my own nails, which was really fun for me too, it helped me tap into my creativity and my inner child because as a kid I used to paint my nails and do all of these little designs on it. So it was just
Yeah.
like fun and healing for me. But I really noticed that with the color of nails that I would just happen to choose would tie in so much with the season of life or whatever I was
Right.
moving through. I noticed that with when people dye their hair as
Like what
well.
they're wanting to call more in to their
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I heard too, it's kind of like with the chakras. Like
Interesting.
if you get like purple, what is like it links up with the
Yeah, purple
chakras,
is
what you're
up here
subconsciously
up
wanting
here
to
at the
call
crown.
more
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
life. I don't know. I heard
Yeah.
that from a hairstylist. I'm not
It
quite
makes
sure
it
all of it,
it
but
makes sense. I feel like we've talked
yeah.
about this before and I've noticed that with
Yeah.
just like the color nails that the you know, I don't dye my hair personally, but I
Yeah.
notice when people do, I'm like, huh, interesting. Like they're
Yeah.
calling.
Right.
Yeah. And it makes sense just with the clothes you wear or whatever it may be.
Right.
So that was kind of like, and like right now I'm wearing these like, I've been so into rainbow, like rainbow bracelet. I got a like all the color. Anyways, just
Yeah.
express yourself, whatever
Yeah.
season that you're in.
I think nails are a really beautiful way to express yourself. Like, you know, when you get your nails done, the color that you choose, all of that. And I think there's quite, you know, with everything, there's a light and dark side with it, the balance of it, because I think we are in a consumerism is
That's
on
whole.
the rise, and like feeling like we need to get our nails done. We need to get our eyebrows done. We need to dye our hair. We need to get the clothes, the name brand. And it's like, do it. We've got to like be honest with ourselves and where that's coming from. If you're one, it's a beautiful form of expression. And yes, if you feel really empowered and like want to do that, absolutely. I think sometimes though the societal pressures for women of like, oh, you need to dress nice. You need to have the clothes. You need to have the earrings and
Yeah.
the hair done,
Yeah.
the nails done. And it's like, that's not the route we're trying to go down with the creativity and expression. It's like doing it from this place of like, no, I want to express myself in this way, you know.
No, I agree. Like, just a personal example, like 2023 was a year for me where I pulled away from all of that. Like, that's when I was like traveling and Airbnb hopping, and for like, I didn't have a home base for like about a year because I was bouncing around, traveling and whatnot. And during that time, because I was living out of a suitcase, like, I sold all of my things, I didn't really express myself through clothing as much because I couldn't. But it was a period in life where I stripped all of that away. It's like, my worth is not based on the clothes I wear. My worth is not based on my nails, because, you know, prior to that, I would get my eyebrows tinted or whatever, or my, you know, I went through a period of getting my lashes done, and which there's nothing wrong with these things, but I went through a period of time where I totally stopped and stripped all of that away for almost a year, and I fell in love with myself as I was without any of those things. And then on the flip side, I start, you know, coming out of it, I started I started bringing that stuff back into my life, including makeup too. Like I didn't wear makeup for a very long time, but I started bringing that stuff back in. But because I fell in love with myself without it, bringing it back in really was from that place of
Right.
expression. And it wasn't a need. It wasn't basing my worth on it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think that that's a beautiful way to go about it, because it's like I feel like a lot of us don't even realize that we're doing these things out of external validation or placing our worth on it, because that's just how it's always been. That's what it's perpetuated in society. But I think when you are really like, you know, we say healing all the time, but you know, it's like learning how to love yourself, learning how to come more home to yourself. Like you do have to strip away all of the bullshit, all of the masks, all of the things that like you've been placing your worth on. And I think that's something that, yeah, that it's good to be honest with yourself about like where that's coming in. So like, it's not bad to do your nails. It's not bad to get your hair dyed, all of that, but it's like making sure what place it's coming from, you know, which I think just, it's like so automatic. We just do it. But it's like, what are we doing all this for? Like, let's do this for myself and not for anyone else.
yeah,
You know?
and I feel like we'll have a whole other conversation, like we'll do another podcast on this in particular. We won't dive into it too much about like the patriarchy.
Oh gosh.
Because that's something,
Oh goodness, you guys.
I know, like I have some things to say, because we done an episode on that?
We like touched on it a little bit, but definitely have not dived deep.
Yeah, because I feel like whether we do it now or the next time we get together, you know, without diving too much right in this moment, I had an ayahuasca ceremony in February, and it was one of the hardest journeys Spirit has put me through. It was really fucking hard. And one of the things that they really showed me is how deeply rooted the patriarchy is. Even men with good hearts are rooted in the patriarchy unknowingly because of society and just how deeply rooted it is. And we see it showing up in this way of women, specifically men to an extent, but specifically women feeling like we need to look a certain way to be worthy.
Right.
And that stems from the patriarchy.
Yeah. And I had this huge realization of like, and this is kind of going off topic of creativity, but on this vein of like, it is such an act of radical rebellion for a woman to embrace her natural beauty, because the world and society is making a hell of a lot of money feeding off of women's insecurities, making us feel like we need to get our hair done. We need to get the Botox. We need to get the filler. We need to get the surgeries. We need to do the nails, have the clothes, like have all of these external things. And it's like they're making a hell of a lot of money off of feeding off of women's insecurities to make us feel like we need these things, and also men struggle with that too, but it's like a lot of that is tied to women, you know, and the diets, the supplements, all of it.
Even like how expensive, like I don't wear bras anymore. Like
I don't either.
I don't wear bras.
Pasties.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so freeing, you guys. Like if you're still wearing bras, I mean, it depends on how big your boobs are, but the pasties are so nice.
I don't even wear pasties. Let the nipples out, girls.
Yeah. Free the nip.
Free the nip.
I
just to each their own.
Right,
but for me,
right.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's natural. It's natural. Like my body breathes a lot easier. And if you think about it, like the bra was created for what? So men can look at our fucking cleavage? Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's just going back to what you were saying, making so much money on our insecurities, hunk.
Right.
You know, it's like letting that go. I don't wear bras anymore. Once in a while, like I do like wearing like a bralette, but it's like comfy and it's not tight. It's anyways, that's another thing. But how expensive like underwear is, like a little thong, for example, $20 for a piece of fabric. I'm like, crazy. What is going on? Not to mention, like, it doesn't let your body breathe. It's just so unnatural. You know,
everything's just so expensive too. And that's too something even tying into like expression, creativity, all of that. Like I think that, you know, even when it comes to like surgery and all of that kind of stuff, like my body, my choice, all of that, and absolutely body autonomy, you do what you want. And some people do it from a place of like expression and like wanting to feel better in their bodies and all of that. But I think too, it's like, we got to be so honest with ourselves. Where did all of this start? And who's making the money?
it's meant,
And
like,
you know what and who are we doing it for? Yes, we're
yeah,
doing it for ourselves.
yeah,
I just, even with like the Botox and all that kind of stuff, which you know, who knows what it's going to be like down the road for me. But right now I'm just like really, and we've talked about this too. It's like, are we doing, like, I'm really sitting with, am I going to do this from a place of like empowerment and expression, or is this because I'm feeling insecure?
yeah.
Do
And
you
I
know?
see, so I've gotten, years ago, I don't do it anymore, but I got preventative Botox, and I'm going like this because what the fuck does that even mean? There's like a
Mm-hmm.
whole other thing about that. A few times I fell into that trap, but I don't anymore, and this was
Mm-hmm.
years ago, so it's like all gone now. But I've really sat with this, and I agree, to each their own, like genuinely no
Really, like no
judgment.
judgment, like literally whatsoever. You do whatever you want to do. I'm all that for anyone.
Yeah.
But I think the conversations need to be there.
No, and this, yeah, exactly, because what I was going to say is I've sat with this, and this is my opinion. I want to make that
Mm-hmm.
clear. You can disagree, but I feel like if you are altering your body for, aesthetic purposes, I pose the question, why, like, exactly, being honest, where is it coming from genuinely? Because if it's making you feel better about yourself, why ask yourself, why is it making me feel better about myself? Because if, for example, we didn't look at wrinkles as something bad, if we looked at wrinkle lines as wisdom lines and it was something to be celebrated,
And gray hair
and
as
gray hair.
wisdom.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like if there was no other people here and you were living on an island on your own,
Mm-hmm.
would you feel the need to do that? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel if you're altering your body aesthetically for aesthetic, purposes under the guise of doing it for yourself to make yourself feel better, I
Mm-hmm.
just I just really challenge you, not that there's, you do you, like I said, I fell into the trap myself,
Mm-hmm.
but really, really question and ask yourself where it's genuinely rooted and where it's genuinely coming from. Because I believe that we should be, God gave us this beautiful body as we are, and we're all unique and
Mm-hmm.
special, and we're going to have different lines and birthmarks and all of these different things. And I think that if you genuinely love yourself for all that you are, you're going to love all of your nooks and differences. And, even if it doesn't fit in societal's perception of what the beauty standard is. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Anyways, that's just kind of like what I've really, really come to now. You know, altering your body for, transgender and stuff, that's a whole different topic, and I kind of want to make that clear. But if it's
Mm-hmm.
coming specifically, yeah, and not for health purposes either, because I know
Mm-hmm.
people get nose jobs for health purposes to like
Yeah, and
breathe better.
and like for if you have cancer, getting a breast removed and then
No.
needing
Yeah.
implants and all of that kind of
Mm-mm.
stuff. It's like it's not black and white.
It's
You
not
know,
black
it's
and
just not
white.
black and white.
And I feel like if you're doing it because you want to feel better about yourself,
And a form of expression,
yeah,
tying it kind of into, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I just challenge people to just really sit and be honest and question, because I did that with myself, and I realized for me it was, I said I'm doing it for myself, like da 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 da, and with the preventative Botox I couldn't even express, like, I'm an expressive gal.
Yeah.
It would stop me from like doing my full expressions,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And I think too, a lot of the time it's like, are we doing it for the male gaze sometimes, or also other women looking at, it's just like, it's so complex. And I just think it's just something to think about. Like, what if all of us just stopped with all of this bullshit and just all accepted ourselves as we were? We'd all save so much money. We would all save so
literally.
much money. We would stop funding the pockets of the
And
wealthy.
it's these men. If you look at who's in charge of majority of these corporations, who's
Right.
selling us all of these things, it's men.
Yeah,
It's
I think
men.
that's where we need to like see how deeply rooted the patriarchy is, and like, what if we all just started, that's a perfect world, and we're far from perfect, we're human. But I just think there's something so powerful about embracing your natural beauty and then putting makeup on as a form of expression. And then, you know what, I feel like there's something so beautiful about it. But again, I'm not an aging, like, I'm aging, but I'm not. I know my mom and I have had these conversations before too, and it's hard to age. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, whoa,
But
my face is changing,
that's because of society, though.
right?
That's
Yeah.
because of society. It's like, especially with women,
Mm-hmm.
it's like once we age out, we're not attractive anymore. We're not wanted anymore. For whatever reason, when men age,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, he's like, there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
It's like the
looked at
men get like
differently.
more attractive
They
as
get
they
more
age.
it's like it should be. I think that's the case for women as well, but because of the skewed perception, the distortion within society, it makes women feel insecure, and it honestly angers me. If you feel like you need to alter your body to fit the societal standard, like really sit with that. Fuck that. That makes me angry that society has made us feel so unworthy of being who we are as we are, that we feel like we need to alter who we are. It angers me. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think the beauty standards that we have right now are so dangerous for these next generations coming in. Like, it's unrealistic. It's so dangerous.
this episode is brought to you by the Beehive. Holly and I created this online space with such deep intention because we know how lonely and isolating the healing journey can be. And what we've truly come to know is the importance of a safe community that understands you. We've both experienced the power of being witnessed, held, and supported, and that's where true healing happens. The Beehive is a grounded, heart-led space rooted in connection, reflection, growth, authenticity, and self-love. It's a community built on grounded spirituality, not bypassing, but coming home to yourself through your body, your truth, and your lived experience. While we honor the magic of the mystical, we also know the importance of staying rooted. Inside, you'll find real tools, embodiment practices, and a community of like-minded people who get it. It's a safe space where all are welcome, where your wisdom, your struggles, and your growth are honored. If you've been craving a down-to-earth space to heal, grow, and feel supported, we'd love to welcome you into the Hive. Only $22 USD a month. Link in the show notes to join. We hope to see you there.
And I think, yeah, just going back to not trying to shame or judge anyone, I think it's just really important to like have these conversations too, because I think it's so often like even just these women that I'm like so proud of, like looking up to, like Alex Cooper, she gets lip Botox, all of it, and like promoting that kind of like to her audience and all of it. It's like, what happened to like women standing in their power and embracing who we are? And like, yes, the boss babe, the boss bitches, but like boss bitches are not the ones that are going to change the world. It's going to be the ones that are like really owning who we are and like learning how to have that balance in life and help the next generations, I feel like, find that love from within and express themselves in a healthy way without needing to like do it from a wounded space.
Yeah, I feel like it's authenticity. It's stepping into your authenticity, and just kind of going back to what we were saying before. Like a lot of people say, I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not doing it for the male gaze. I'm doing it for me. Why are you doing it for you though? What about altering yourself for as aesthetic purposes? What about it makes you feel better about yourself? Because I think that's like the root right there. It's kind of like, okay, why do I feel better about myself if I have less wrinkles? Where does that come from? Is it because society has made me feel less worthy if I have wrinkles? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
wounded space.
Or is it going to make me less attractive for the,
Yeah.
and especially if you've been really beautiful growing up, if you've always like got accolades, oh, she's so beautiful, she's so pretty. Like if you've always been known for your looks, I can imagine that'd be really hard to age and be like, oh, where am I going? And it's like kind of losing that bit of external beauty, but it's just shifting and changing in its own sort of way, which makes it its own unique beauty. But I can imagine like even for me, a lot of my self-worth was tied off of being like people saying that I was pretty. That's why my eating disorder, oh, I need to look this certain way because that's how I receive love, that's when I get attention, so I need to look this way. And I think, yeah, like aging for me, it'll probably be really challenging, but I do have that solid foundation from within now to know like, but it's not, I'm beautiful regardless of what I look like.
Yeah. And it's okay to embrace those insecurities, like
Yeah.
you said, like you might struggle with it, and
Right.
that's going to be
human.
natural.
That's a part of the human experience.
Exactly.
Like we're here to, yeah, it's going to be challenging. We're not just like all perfect beings of like, oh no, I can age gracefully and not think about what's going on. It's like, no, that's a shadow. It's a shadow that you got to look at, of like getting curious about where it's coming from and like loving yourself, validating it and loving it.
And that's the thing. It's feeling it. It's okay if you feel that way, but it's like then sitting with it, okay, where it's recognizing where it really stems from so that you can hold yourself through it.
Right.
Anyways.
And if you still decide to do it, Go for
Yeah,
it. It's all a part of your journey. Your body, your choice. Literally, you'll hear me say that a lot. I'm all about body autonomy. You are on your own journey. You do whatever feels good for you. I just invite in the conversation.
yes.
You
And
know,
something else, I want to bring it back to creativity and stuff because we're kind
yeah.
of going off a little bit, but I think this is important too because there's actually okay, there's a few women that I follow online who got boob jobs, which again, your body, your choice. One of my best friends has a boob job and it's been great for her and I love her. And do you know what I'm saying? So I want to make
Mm-hmm.
that clear. I don't judge you for it. But whenever you're putting a foreign object in your body, these women that I follow online, every single one of them, because I followed them for an extended period of time, they got the boob jobs and I saw their journey when they got it. And then they started having health issues, like
Breast
different
implant illness
issues.
is
Yeah.
so incredibly common, and
Yeah.
it's not taught. It's not researched
We need to
enough.
talk about it.
And yeah, the woman Elizabeth who I had on the podcast who had cancer and then she also got her breasts removed because she was having breast implant illness, she dives all into the symptoms of all of that because it's not talked about enough. Breast implant illness, you're putting a foreign object in your body with the chemicals, with all of that, and there's so many complications like brain fog, but people are like, oh, I'm just a tired mom, or I'm working so much, but the brain fog can also be linked to the breast implants. And she talks about, that's a really beautiful episode. It's like the invitation to start advocating for yourself, that episode. But she talks about the journey of getting her implants out and like loving this body, and like the journey of kind of like when she realized she got those implants from a place of empowerment, but she realized it wasn't from a place of empowerment. It was a place of altering her body because she felt like it would make her feel better. But in the moment, she did it from like a playful place of like, oh, I just want these. And then with aging, with reflection and getting them out, it's like, oh, I understand why I got those. I'm so grateful they're out, and just like embracing her body right now. Yeah, I think it's so common
Yeah.
to get breast implant illness.
Yeah. And like, so touching on that, so that's one thing. When it comes to the filler and Botox, any foreign substance that you're putting in your body is not good for your body. So it's like, again, with the Botox and filler, it's not as large and it kind of goes away like over time. So it probably doesn't affect a person as much. But I could only imagine if you're, and I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but if you're doing this regularly, I just feel it will have an impact on your body, whether you notice it or not, because it can impact you like slowly with time. Do you know what I'm saying? It can be something that creeps up. I just feel like anything that you're injecting into your body, just not that everything is bad, because I know that there's certain, vaccines or whatever it may be, whether you agree with that or not, that's very polarizing. That's a whole other topic of conversation. Not trying to get into that, and there's reasons that we inject things into our body. But, when it comes to just stuff like that. It's just, I think, something to talk about. And we see it with breast implants specifically, know.
Yeah. We're getting on a tangent.
We're getting on a tangent.
Totally different thing. But honestly, just really quick, what I want to end this part on and go into tapping into more joy. But I just saw Kris Jenner just got surgery on her face. And she looks so young. She looks great. That's the beauty standard.
And
and look how wealthy she is.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. And the Kardashians are, they're doing their own good in their own unique ways. I know Kim is actually really advocating for prison reform and all of that. And I'm really proud of her for that. But I think we look up to people like that. We look up to celebrities, and a lot of these celebrities have all of these surgeries and Botox, and it's not realistic. And we have to understand that it's not realistic. So I think the more that we can, whatever feels good for you, embracing that natural beauty when you can, not all the time, but also expressing yourself in other ways, expressing through clothes, expressing through your own unique ways.
I think there's I'm getting to a place where I think there's beauty in aging, and it's making me emotional, because not that there's anything wrong with this, but you just said Kris Jenner got the face, whatever she did. She looks great. Why do we associate youth with looking great?
Everyone's saying she looks so great. I think she looks like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
I'm like, baby girl, what are we doing? This is not realistic.
Yeah. And I'm at a place in my life too, because so I'm 31, I'll be 32 this year, and people always think I look younger than I am. I've always been like that, which is fine. And, it's not a bad thing. I know people are like, you're lucky you look so young for your age, but it's in my life, it's been frustrating at times because people underestimate me, and they just treat me like I'm this young, and that like, you know, which is not that saying I want to all of a sudden have all these wrinkles. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's something that's like, it pisses me off. And I look at women who are aging, and I'm really starting to see the beauty, and I'm like, wow, like this woman, she'll be, I don't know, in her 50s or whatever, and I'm like, wow, she's beautiful, and she'll have full gray hair, and I
Yeah, I've been
see
seeing a
it.
lot of people with full gray
I
hair, and
love
I'm like, oh,
it.
that's so beautiful.
Yes.
It's so interesting. I'll be honest, I'm getting so many gray hairs. Like, I'm getting so many gray hairs, and I believe I will dye my hair, like down, like I haven't yet. But that's another thing where it's like, should I just allow myself to gray? Like, who gives a shit? But then I'm also like, I I don't know. I'm really trying to sit with that because I have so many, you guys. I'm like, what is happening to me? But yeah, it's something that I'm really sitting with. But I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with dyeing your hair. It's just getting curious where all of it's stemming from, where these beauty standards started. And actually, something that is tying into the joy and all of this kind of stuff, something I started to do to like bring in this joy, I shared this with our call that we had yesterday, is actually like the way, because I used to struggle with body image. You used to struggle with body image. Something that's been so beautiful and bringing so much joy into my life is actually like before I get in the shower or after I get in the shower, I play music and I just like dance naked and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm just like, it just feels freeing and beautiful. Whereas before, based off these beauty standards, based off of all of this, I would have looked at my body and picked it apart. And now it's like, no, I'm dancing. I'm bringing in joy. I'm looking at my body. I'm embracing my body, my naked body, because it's my body. We've gotten so like, you are the one who should be the most comfortable with your naked body. And that's so far from so many people, I believe. And it's like, this is my body and I get to dance naked and I get to enjoy it and look at all the curves and whatever it may be. And it's been bringing so much joy into my life and just like healing for my inner teenager who picked her body apart. And it's like, no, babe, we get to dance, we get to bring in joy, and we get to love this beautiful body that we're in.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been bringing so much joy into my life. So if that inspires you at all, I definitely recommend trying that out.
I think that's beautiful. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but when I was really healing my body image, I did that a lot. I danced naked and I'd rub oil all over my body, and just, your body is art. You are art in motion. Your body is art, you know, and I think that, again, the beauty standard makes us feel like our bodies need to look a certain way. And I'm just kind of, you know, my perception has really, really shifted. And I feel like when you're able to do the healing and whatnot, I mean, I still have a long road ahead of me and there's always more healing to do. But I've noticed, for me personally, as I've been on this journey, I'll notice like different body types and I'm like, wow, they're beautiful. And it's like not what the standard of beauty is, but because my perception has shifted so much, I'm seeing different, you know, body types. I'm seeing women aging and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, they're so beautiful. It's and genuinely though, do you know what I mean?
And there's something so beautiful about diversity. Like, our bodies aren't all meant to look the same. They're meant to be some bigger, plumper, thinner. Like, it's like we are all uniquely different. Like, think of an art piece. Like, that's all of us. Like, it's like we're all supposed to look different, but we've like glorified and glamorized this rail thin structure, and it's just like, it's not realistic. You have to do really unhealthy things a lot of the time to attain that, and that's not. And I think we need women specifically, we need us challenging the beauty standards. We need us, because things have got to change. We've got to understand where it's coming from, feeding these insecurities, making a hell of a lot of money off of our insecurities, because we've got to shift it for our sake, but for the freaking children's sake, for Christ's sake. Like, I would never want my nieces and nephew to ever feel like they needed to do anything to alter their body. They are perfect and beautiful just the way that they are. And I want to teach them. And I know my mom and my sister and all the caretakers, they're teaching them to learn how to love themselves, because like, no, we're not going to make them grow up and feel like I need to alter my body. I need to go have an eating disorder. I need to be thin.
It's so limiting when your mind is consumed on that.
And think of how it's women that are mainly consumed.
It keeps you out of your power.
Our brain power.
It keeps you out of your power.
Sucking us into all of this.
And it brings you out of tapping into your creativity. Tapping into the joy, because you're so hyper focused.
Right.
On, you know, like how you look.
Yeah.
What am I going to eat? Because for me, what am I going to eat later? What are my meals
Right.
going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Consuming. When my brain power, like I want to paint, I
Mm-hmm.
want to make a song, I
Mm-hmm.
want to, and that's medicine, not only for me, but for the world when I share
Right.
that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? A
Mm-hmm.
poem or whatever. So, you know, let's segue a little bit into the creativity if
Well,
you want. Yeah.
yeah, I will say, because even when I was like really in it in college, like I was so consumed on food, when I could work out, all of it. And it's like when I started healing, the amount of brain power that came back of like, oh my God, this is, I didn't even feel like I learned anything in college because all of my brain power was consumed. And it's like, look at all that I've been able to create now that and think in a different way, like because of the I've learned to not have it consume me, learn to like get on the same team as myself, which is a journey in and of itself. But tapping into that creativity, it comes from learning how to love yourself and accept yourself, so you can have different, your brain power can go to different things. And I think we should get curious about that, because so many women, it's majority of women that struggle with eating disorders. Okay, what's that freeing up? It's, I feel like there's some sort of link with the patriarchy in
Yes.
an unknowingly
Subconsciously,
way,
it's
you know?
unconscious, but it keeps women out of their power from tapping into their full
Right.
power because their
Yes.
energy is going into freaking just what it shouldn't be going into. It
Yes.
makes
And
me
oh my
mad.
gosh. Okay. So as we go into this too, women's pleasure has been seen as so like
Taboo.
taboo and shameful. Shame on you. Sex is for marriage. You're a slut.
It's like
All of
you
that.
can't win. You can't win
Right.
because you're either a slut
Mm-hmm.
or you're undesirable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And why we're bringing this into the equation is because so much of women's creative energy, and men too, but like so much of our creative energy is tied to our pleasure. But women, I know this is something I'm intentionally working on, like don't feel worthy of pleasure or feel icky when trying back to the example of, this is your body, you should feel the most comfortable with your body. Pleasure, we are meant to, women are meant to be experiencing pleasure. So much of our pleasure again is tied to our creativity, but we cut ourselves off from that. It feels gross. And yeah, it's like another thing that's like kind of demonized for women, like no, like you're called a slut, when even like men, I feel like get rewarded when they have all that sex with
Oh,
other
I
women.
know. Yeah.
Women get called a slut, shame on you, you whore. It's like, where is that? What is that about? But it's,
Patriarchy.
yeah, but again, it's like self pleasure, not even pleasure with another man or woman, whatever,
And
whoever
like
you're into.
sensuality.
Sensual, yeah, like
Yeah.
play, pleasure, joy. It's like we've kind of like feel unworthy of
Yes.
that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And very similar to you, like just growing up very religious, it
Yes.
felt like a sin. You
Right.
know, like my
Hmm.
pleasure felt like a sin.
And sex just wasn't a part of the conversation.
No, it
It
was
wasn't.
not.
Yeah. And I feel like our parents, you know, they didn't have those conversations with their parents either. So God, for they, you know, and I know that's something that my mom really, she wished she would have had those conversations. She was just, she admitted, just naive to those kinds of things because her parents didn't either. It's just, you grow up that way. You think that your kids, you know, and you have the one conversation around sex and that's enough. But we've got to like start talking about sex and female pleasure. Like we're women, we're supposed to be connected to our pleasure. It's a beautiful thing. But right now it's like there's so much shame. There's so much disgust, especially there's so much sexual abuse, like so much sexual abuse that like skews women's and men's, but like speaking about women right now, relationship with their bodies and sex and pleasure. And so disconnecting from the power, but it's like we've got to invite back in pleasure into the equation in a healthy way. And I know that's something that I'm doing right now, and like I find so much resistance because there's a part of me that also didn't feel worthy about around having sex. Like I felt like I shouldn't be doing this. So I wasn't like allowing myself to enjoy sex or like feel like I would, like, I don't know, deserving of it in
Yeah.
a sort of way. But
Yeah.
it's like, no, I am. And I get to enjoy pleasure whenever I want. And I think I'm really kind of like nurturing myself through it, you know, in a way of like, babe, we are worthy of this. Like, it's okay. And not that I'm like, you know, masturbation is like coming to mind. That's not something I'm really like getting into right now. It's more of like loving my body, like being sensual with my body, dancing naked, putting lotion on slowly. Like that's pleasure filled. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just like
Yeah.
sex.
Yeah. And
And
even like masturbation though, like on your own,
right,
explore,
right.
you know
But that
how
can be really
it
uncomfortable.
can. No,
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
speaking from firsthand.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're interrupting this episode to share something close to our hearts, our virtual healing circles. We have been loving them so much and meeting so many of you incredible people through them. Brittany and I are passionate about bringing people together to support one another and heal in community. We felt alone on our paths for so long, and coming together in community has been instrumental to our growth, and we've both seen the importance in it. We aren't meant to do this alone. In unity and vulnerability, we find strength, courage, and support each other on our paths back to ourselves. Our monthly virtual seminars blend discussions, workshops, and practices to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Whether seeking guidance, healing, or a listening ear, our gatherings offer a safe, inclusive space for people to connect, heal, and grow. Join us on this journey of healing in community. Together, we can heal, grow, and thrive. Register for the next circle using the link in the show notes. We hope to see you there. Like that can be very uncomfortable. And I'm speaking from firsthand. Like it's felt uncomfortable, but that's where it's like, it's okay. We're safe. We're worthy of this. You know, I think we've got to relearn, you know, and have these kind of conversations so it's not so taboo.
Yeah. Sexual energy is creative energy.
Yeah.
And it's your life. It's your life force.
Mm-hmm.
It's your life force. Like we create life down here,
Mm-hmm.
physical life, but
Mm-hmm.
also that's like your womb.
Mm-hmm.
That is my intuition, is my womb.
Mm-hmm.
It is her,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like when I'm listening and connected with her,
Mm-hmm.
my creativity flows a lot more, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's something we're realizing is how like reconnecting to the womb wisdom, reconnecting to women's bodies. Yeah. And even realizing like the womb is where, yeah, like where we bring new life. It's literally a portal to
The portal.
it's a portal. So like there's so much creative energy when connecting to the womb. And I feel like women, we're learning we need to reconnect to our womb wisdom. And I did a podcast episode with Ellie on that, and it's tying into like when you connect with your womb, it's like there's so much wisdom, there's so much creativity, and that comes too of like sitting in your sexual shame and all of that kind of stuff, so you can bring back in that pleasure, that play in a healthy way, you know,
Bringing in more of that joy back in, you know,
right.
without,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it's a journey depending on what your history is. Like I know for me, you know, I've been sexually assaulted before. I'm going to say grape, you know, I've talked about my grape.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first experience like with sex,
Mm-hmm.
and it completely distorted everything for
Right.
me. It was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I've done so much healing surrounding it in the last few years, and I just feel like, yeah, it's really allowed me to tap into my creativity more.
Mm-hmm.
But similar history to you with, you know, raised very Catholic, we didn't talk about sex.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about it in the schools I went to too. We didn't talk, we didn't learn. It was don't have sex. That's what,
Mm-hmm.
you know, elementary and high school. I went to Catholic elementary and high school, and it was just don't have sex.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
love in life was what our sex education was in grade 7. They called it
Mm-hmm.
love in life.
Oh my goodness.
And there was no talk of actual sex.
But how dangerous is that?
Dangerous.
It's not realistic. We are sexual beings. We are sexual beings. And the more that we keep it a secret and no sex until marriage, like what is that going to do? That's going to instill fear. That's going to instill shame. When someone goes and does something, they're not going to know how to explore in a healthy way.
Or to protect themselves.
Right. And also like that's going to perpetuate sexual assault, because it's like getting curious. Let me go be curious with someone without their consent. You know what I mean? It's like we've got to have these conversations because we're human. We're sexual beings. We're human beings. We're sexual beings. And it's like we've got to start owning that and like owning our bodies, taking ownership of these bodies again. And like it's natural to have sexual desires.
Yeah, like when I have kids one day, like obviously age appropriate, but I want to start talking to them about this stuff from a young age.
Yeah.
It's not weird.
Yes. So I had this woman, Victoria, on the podcast, the Safe Kid Project or the Safe Child Project, something along those lines. But she's talking about body autonomy for her children, and she's teaching them at 2 years old okay, your body, do you want me to do you want me to hug you, or are you not feeling a hug right now? Do you want mommy to wipe you off with the towel, or do you want to wipe yourself off with the towel? Teaching them from the womb, your body, your choice. Again, sexuality will come later down the road, but teaching them body autonomy to know to
Or
know
like,
that it's inappropriate for others to touch when you don't want them to.
that's so important. What's coming to mind for me, like, I know I've talked about this on another podcast before. I have this memory of when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
I was like I was young, like really young, but I have
So
this
many people
memory.
have also done that.
Like,
Do you
yeah,
know,
I
I
was
don't I
like,
don't have like a specific memory, but I know people reached out after that episode and they're like,
oh,
same.
really?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so for those who haven't heard this yet, really quickly, I was like, I had like a little mini couch that I bought that I didn't buy, my parents bought me, and I was like rubbing up on it, and I was like getting myself off. I didn't know what I was doing. I was, just like a kid. I was like maybe 3 years old, you know what I'm saying, exploring my body.
Natural.
And my parents were like, Brittany, what are you doing? And they made me feel so weird. And in that moment, I remember feeling shame. So I hid it from them. But it's like, that's the thing. It's from a young age, your kids are going to start doing that. So when they kind of do that, it's telling them what they're doing. So it's
Yeah.
not weird. And then explaining to them, you have every right to do that. When you do that, though, you want to maybe be private in your room when you do that. You're allowed, because there's nothing wrong with it and it feels good, right?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? But so they
Yeah.
don't feel shame.
Yeah, and the more that you're able to hold that space for them, the more they're going to feel comfortable coming to you about questions around sex.
Exactly,
And you
yeah.
want to make it not a taboo topic. You want to make it so that they can come to you with their questions and not feel shameful. And it's a natural part of life,
Yes.
babes. It's a natural part of
Yes.
life. You get to explore. Let's yeah, exactly. Let's do this in a healthy way. I'll tell you what's going on. Also, she was saying too, like, we want to refer, she was calling it vulva, the vulva, but like, you want to refer to it as the vagina and the butt. Like, you don't want to like do names of like the booty or
Kitty
like,
cat or
yeah,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
because what is that? That's causing more shame.
Right.
Why is it dirty to say vagina and
Right.
butt or vulva?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like teaching them from such a young age to like, oh, like, know about their bodies, know about their sensual energy. Like, it's okay. The more that you have those conversations, the more it's going to manifest in a healthy way. It's not going to seem dirty or taboo. So, and I think, yeah, bringing this into the conversation, because so much of female pleasure and just pleasure in general is so tied to our creativity and our expression and feeling safe in our bodies. If you like feeling safe in your body, talk about being in your body. When you experience pleasure, when you experience an orgasm, you are in your body. And so many of us are up in our minds, up in our heads, and it's like, we've got to reconnect to these bodies and like be in the flow. That's being in the feminine energy, so we can flow, we can bring in more joy, more, it's just like this beautiful dance when we allow ourselves to be in pleasure. But I'm the first to admit, like, I feel shame around it, and I'm really being intentional about learning how to just be okay, like, it's safe for me to explore this. It's safe for me to explore with my husband. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's not something shameful, because even with Eric, I feel shame coming up sometimes, and I will express it. Like, I'm very open now of talking about it when I'm like, I feel like when I'm not feeling comfortable, and I'm like, where I just want to get curious about where this is coming from, because like, it's coming from younger parts of me.
Yeah, because something else that's coming to mind, specifically with sex between a man and a woman, specifically, subconsciously, often the woman just wants like the man to feel good, So, and it's like women almost feel like, it's like guilty receiving subconsciously,
Right.
or the uncomfortable receiving. And I know that's not for everybody, but I think collectively there's like a wound there of just needing to please the man to be worthy. And it's like you're willing to do whatever they want to do just for them. But then it's like, you got to receive, honey. Like you need to receive too, and feel comfortable receiving, though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think in that one episode when we, it's called Let's Talk About Sex,
Yeah, we
I
talk
said,
about
like, if your partner is not prioritizing your pleasure first as the woman, like, you need to have a conversation, like, because that's not you as the woman or the feminine in the relationship. Like, your pleasure should be a priority too. Like, you're both allowed to receive. Sure, he can, you want to make sure you're both enjoying it, or they, whomever, but it's just like, it's safe you should also be in that and allow yourself to feel that pleasure. And if it's not pleasureful, like it's not going to be super pleasureful and intimate all of the time, but like you should be able to enjoy it, like you are both in this. It's not just for one party.
And don't feel guilty telling them if you don't like something. Or explaining what you do like. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like another thing. It's like not like they're doing something and you're just like, okay, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
But they're trying, so you feel guilty because you don't want to like knock their ego. Speak up, speak out in a nice
I feel like
way.
they'll respect that.
I mean, depending on the guy, depending on the person.
If the person does not receive it well,
Red
that's
flag.
a red flag, sweetheart. So
Red flag.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember just it's coming. I haven't talked about this yet. I was in a very toxic relationship for like 4 years. My partner, so this is before I was in my early 20s. I didn't know what an orgasm was at that point in my life because I wasn't taught. I've made myself orgasm because I just figured it out on my own, but I didn't know what I was doing. When we would be intimate, he never made me orgasm because I didn't realize that it was like tied to sex. I thought it was just something I could do for myself, if that makes sense. He never made me orgasm. He had a conversation with me one day about it, how he was like basically mad at me. There was something wrong with me because I wouldn't orgasm. And at that point, I was so confused at what he was even talking about. I took it all on. Anyways, I was never honest with him. He was terrible and what I ended up doing was just like faking it just to please him. So if you're listening to this,
do not fake an orgasm.
Yeah, do not fake. And we talk about that with the do not talk about sex or let's talk about sex episode. But anyways, it's just kind of like in hindsight, it's kind of like he like made me feel bad.
Yeah, that's
like,
terrible.
I'm like, you clearly don't know what you're doing. Yeah. I mean, there was not communication or anything like that. Like,
and if you're in a relationship like that, take note, you know, of that example.
That was such a toxic relation. That was like the most toxic relationship I think I was ever in. It was really not good. Like in hindsight, thank God that's over.
Yeah, that's so hard.
Anyways.
But yeah, I feel like we needed to just bring in pleasure into the conversation when it comes to tapping into joy, play, pleasure. Like pleasure, we need to add in pleasure. And I think just getting curious about your relationship with pleasure, self-pleasure, not again, just like your body. What's your relationship with your body? Touching your body in a loving way, in a gentle, kind way. It's like,
yeah, and just bringing back in like just play, you know, tying this all back together, just tapping into more play in general, like what I'm doing right now in my life to bring joy into my life. It's so cute. I took myself out because you could do this on your own. You know, you don't need anyone to go with. You don't need a partner. If you have one and you want to bring them along, great, but you don't have to. I brought myself to a local pottery studio and I painted a mug for myself. I ordered myself a paint by numbers just for adults, just to like tap back into it. I signed myself up for a paint class where we're going to paint, like they're going to take us through a piece of paint and we're going to, or an art piece, and we're going to all do it together step by step.
Oh, like a cheers to art, if you're familiar with that kind of thing.
A cheers to art, is that what you said?
Yeah, so we had there's a bunch of like cheers to art. Maybe that's an
I don't know
Ohio
what that
thing,
is,
but
yeah.
it's the same thing, but you drink wine and then they're taking you through the steps.
And it is a BYOB thing. I don't know if I'm actually going to drink or not, but I'm going to like paint and just enjoy, you know, like bringing that back in. So it's being very intentional about it though. And for me personally, I feel called to tap into just like creativity, even doing more arts and crafts. And because I used to do arts and crafts as a kid and then I stopped doing it for so long, and I just feel myself like tapping into that more, because often when you do things like that too, just for fun, it puts you in a meditative state.
Right. Yeah. I know, like painting, art, it like literally that can be meditation for people. It takes you out of your logical thinking mind and there's more that can flow through you.
Energy flows. That's how stagnant energy moves. That's how whatever you're stuck on, instead of like forcing your way through, like if you're stuck with something, let's say like you're creating something, let's say you're writing. I'm going to use writing as an example because writers block, right? And you're blocked. Instead of like sitting and like forcing your way out of the block, that's never going to work. You have to take yourself out. You got to let it go, paint. And that's when,
Yeah, like get out in nature. We need to get out in nature. So much creativity comes through when out we don't allow ourselves to not be distracted. Like if you want to tap into your creativity, you got it. Like the creativity comes in the boredom, in the getting out of your mind and into your body, like getting out in nature and yeah, all of that. And and you have a coloring book too.
Oh yeah, I have
Which
coloring
coloring
books.
is like such a beautiful way to do that. And yeah, we had a call last night and one of the questions was like, how are you tapping into more, how are you intentionally adding more joy into your life? Or like, if you aren't right now, what are you committed to adding into your life? And there was one who was taking up a Zumba class, one who was taking up a dance class, like just eliciting in that child, like joy, that play, like thinking back to what you love to do when you were a child. Like I mentioned in the beginning, like what did you love to do? Did you love to dance? Did you love to sing? Did you love to draw, to write poetry? Like we had so many poets in our circle the other night.
And be messy about it, right?
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
when for example, I went to go paint that mug. I'm like, okay, it looks like maybe a third grader painted this,
Yeah.
but that's
But
okay.
you did it. It was
You
your
know?
energy. It was the third grade you coming out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's so healing for your inner child to do those kinds of things too. Yeah.
I feel like people feel the need, like, oh, if I create something, it has to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
which is so limiting. It's like, be messy.
Right. It's not, it doesn't need to like, you're not like putting this out into like, and that's something too. It's like, don't try to monetize your creativity. Like just create to create. I think that's where we get so caught up is like needing to monetize and needing to put this out online and like, what are people going to think? But it's like, you can create just for yourself.
Yeah. Or like musicians, like what's coming to mind, people who, or poetry, like who create written work. It's kind of like, okay, I want to create a written piece here. What are people going to like? No, your power lies in your uniqueness. That's often where the success will come from anyways. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not doing it to monetize. It's do it because you love it.
Yeah.
And hey, you never know where it's going to take you, but the key is to allow yourself to be messy, to color outside of the lines, not sticking to the structure, not caring what other people, what other people's opinions are going to be. The success lies within your uniqueness because your lens, the way you see the world is different. Nobody else sees the world the way you see the world. That's the key right there because what you bring to the table is what nobody else can because they're not you. And that's what makes it special.
Yeah, and unique and beautiful and going to touch people in their own ways. And who's coming to mind too is Louis Capaldi. He is a musician. He makes beautiful music, but he started out with, obviously, as all songwriters do, didn't have a following. He put out music. People really resonated. If you look up Louis Capaldi, I can't think, you'll know who he is. But then he blew up, and now he's put so much pressure on himself to make music that people are going to like. So he's like really, really struggling with his mental health, and he had to take a step back. There's a documentary on him that I watched, and it's like such a beautiful example of it. He's creative. He came out with this music that resonated with millions of people, turning his pain into purpose, turning his pain into art. His music resonates with relationships and all of that. And then it's like, okay, putting so much pressure on, okay, I have all these people listening. I need to make sure they like this. I can see musicians getting really caught up in that.
It takes
too.
the creativity away too.
Right.
And that often takes away what I was saying before, your uniqueness. And your uniqueness is what's special because nobody else has the ability to tap into that because they're not you.
Right. And I think it's like you don't have to put your art on display. I think we're living in the society of TikTok, of Instagram, of YouTube, of like wanting people to see it, wanting engagement, all of that. It's like you can just create in the purpose of creating, and that's like so beautiful. And something that I'm doing that's not really like tied to that kind of stuff, but I used to love singing when I was growing up. Like I loved to sing growing up, and then, everything just tainted it. And something that I've been doing, which Eric and I have been doing this like since we moved to California, because we take road trips like every weekend to go do different hiking trails, but we'll always like put on old songs that we love, like Dave Matthews, John Mayer, Third Eye Blind, like all these different artists who we love and used to love. And it's like we're doing like car karaoke. Like we blast the music, it's old music, and like I'm singing, and then I act like I have the microphone and I'm giving it to Eric, and he starts singing, and it's so sweet. It elicits so much joy for both of us. It's like both of us are just have it like in present. We're present with each other. We're present with the music. The views are beautiful. And it's,
It
yeah.
brings you in the moment, like being
Right.
present with any sort of art or creation, singing, it like really helps bring you in the moment, which is
Right.
so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that yeah, it's like the presence, like turn, and even dancing. Like I said, I turn on music, I dance, I'm in the moment, I'm listening to the music, I'm moving with the rhythm, and I'm letting myself be free. Like, let yourself be free, let it be messy, run wild, figure out what you discover, or discover what you really love. And I think there's just such this big emphasis on really inviting in that childlike joy, that play, and then also that pleasure to like really add in that. And yeah, I just feel like I wanted to give that example with Eric too, because if you have a partner or if you don't, I also sing alone in my car and I belt out the music, and it brings so much joy.
And another thing that's coming to mind, art is an evolution. And let me explain that a little bit. I feel like going back to, when people create, they feel like they don't want to be messy because they feel like it needs to be perfect or whatever. When you are, if you're a writer or creating music or art, your art is going to evolve over time. And it's like, as you allow yourself to get messy, it's going to tie more authentically with who you are. Like, you'll find what works for you. You'll find that thing, but it's going to take time to evolve. And in order for it to evolve, to get to, let's say you do want to monetize your art, which there's nothing wrong with that, like I want to make clear, like if you feel called, like if
But take the
you,
pressure off of
yeah,
that.
yeah, like if you feel like I'm meant to create because, maybe you've received that message for yourself, like I know I'm meant to create music or I'm meant to create art or whatever it may be. Yes, but know to get to that place where it's going to maybe take off is it's going to take a period of evolution to get to that place. And in order to fully get there, you have to let yourself be free. You have to let yourself be messy. You have to let yourself explore. So it's important to take the pressure off of needing it to be successful right here, right now. It's like not doing it for that reason. And by allowing yourself to be free, messy, and authentic with time, it's going to evolve into that thing naturally. And then when people look at it, they're going to be like, whoa. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah.
a process of evolution. It's going to take time, and you need to be patient with yourself. You can't rush art.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, it's like, if you're doing it from the heart space and authenticity, like it's going to reach the right people when it's supposed to. And sometimes like you are meant to create and it's not going to reach that many people, and that's okay. Like you'll reach the people that you're meant to reach too. And yeah, I think this woman's coming to mind real quick about, she like writes poetry about like, she specifically, the ones that have resonated with me is like her relationship with her body, just like what she eats and looking at her body and all of that stuff. And just, this is again going back to turning your pain into purpose. Like your journey is typically your offering. So like everything that you've gone through, it's like, how can you channel that into a song or channel that into a poem or channel that into a piece of art, whatever it may be. It's like your journey is your offering. And I feel like so many people too are like waiting to see what you have to create,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Art is medicine. Like your creations are medicine when they come from an authentic place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a key, is when they come from an authentic place, tapping
Yeah.
into your uniqueness, tapping into your authentic story, not feeling ashamed of what you've been through and your story. And that's what makes it special right there. But you have to
Yeah.
allow yourself to go there, and you
Yeah.
have to be patient with that process as you find that within yourself.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful journey. And I just feel like, yeah, adding more of that in is only going to like amplify your life. Like add more of that joy into your life by just allowing yourself to create freely. And yeah, it's so much tied to like the feminine energy, like we talked about. So really trying to fall in, we're so in the do, go. And like, we've got to allow ourselves to feel safe enough to rest, to feel safe enough to play. That's a part of your healing, is to play. So allowing yourself to feel safe to do that too, and just inviting that into your life again, because I think like we touched on, it's just gotten so serious, and myself included. There's always been pockets of joy though. There's always been pockets of fun and play, but it feels like
Being
we have to
intentional.
intentionally add that in, and that's not only medicine for you but for your little inner children.
Yeah. Like I made a cootie catcher the other day.
Yeah.
Those little things, like, do you guys know, I don't know if they know what a cootie catcher is. Some of you will catch it, but it's you make it from paper, you put your hands in it, and there's like colors on the outside, and I go to Holly, okay, what color do you pick? And she goes yellow. So I go, okay, YELLOW, and it opens up to numbers. And I did angel numbers all on the inside. I'm like, okay, what angel number 666? Oh, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now what number 222? Okay, I open it up and there's like a little message in there.
Yeah.
That helped me. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
We used to make those as kids too.
Yeah, it was so fun, and it was just like healing for my inner child too. And I had so much fun making it.
Yeah, see, it's just like adding those things in. Yeah, it brings so much like meaning
Joy.
into life. Yeah. And I think, yeah, it's just time. It's time. So this is just an invitation for ourselves and for you. We're already, we're doing it. And I just feel like it's just another invitation. If things have been heavy, if you've been feeling the weight of the freaking world, I see you, I feel you, I hear you. And yeah, I just feel like it's medicine for the world for you to also incorporate that joy and play, because you're lifting up the vibration as you do that too, as you bring that in. And we have to balance things out. So not that you need to spiritually bypass, religious bypass, whatever it may be. It's just feel what you need to feel, but then invite it back in.
Invite the joy, the play, because that's what life's about.
Yeah.
It really is.
Like, and it's in the small moments.
Yeah. The simple.
It's in the small, simple moments.
Yeah.
Of just turning on your favorite song and allowing yourself to dance.
Yes, it's giving Grey's Anatomy dance party. If you're familiar with Meredith Grey, we need a dance party. Yes. Shake it up, Yeah,
especially when you're feeling really stressed. That's a great way to get out of your head into your body. Yeah. So yeah, we really went all over the place here, but it all ties in a specific way. So we hope you guys understand how all of that plays into creativity and play and pleasure, And
it's like, we don't need to be so structured about these.
Yeah. We're just going to let it flow. So hopefully you guys resonate with that.
So what came through was supposed to come through.
Yeah.
We're passionate about these topics, and so hopefully you got something out of it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for tuning in. Woo! Yeah. We're feeling good. If you're listening, we would love it if you can rate the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, share the video. It really does help us out. Yeah. So we would really appreciate it if you guys feel called to support us in any way. Rate the podcast, give us 5 stars, wink, wink. I mean, whatever you feel called to give us. But if you made it to the end and you enjoy what we do, we would just really appreciate the support.
Yeah. But thank you all so much for listening. Yeah. We hope you incorporate your joy, your play, your creativity, your pleasure in your own way. And we'll see you in season 3.
Woo, bye.
Woo, bye. As we wrap up today's episode, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for joining us on this journey. Your support does not go unnoticed. If you enjoyed this episode and find value in our conversations, please take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback not only helps us grow, but also allows us to reach more people who can benefit from our community of healing and support. Every review, every rating makes a difference. Thank you for being a part of the Multiple Truths podcast family. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. Keep speaking your truth and spreading your light. We love you, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.